Well, good evening. It is a Sunday evening, November 24th, a magnificent day in Los Angeles. I have to tell you, I hope you had as good a day as I did. It's T+236, journal number 235. And I guess if I had to categorize today's events, it was just a really lovely day with brunch with friends, and then going into Hollywood for theater to see Summer, the show about Donna Summer's life and time, the singer Donna Summer. It was wonderful in a number of different respects. First of all, it was a beautiful day. You could actually see the Hollywood sign from across the city, which is rare. We generally dye the air here in Los Angeles just a light brown, so we know it's still there. All kidding aside, the emissions problems that we've been having here have been improving well over the years since I moved here in '62, and there's a huge difference. But it was a truly magnificent day, and breakfast was interesting. It was a vegan restaurant that was exceptional, broke every stereotype about vegan eating you might ever have had, as I did, not having had very good luck with vegan treats that we shopped for while I was an inpatient, and then when I was released from being an inpatient, and we were living at the hotel in Azusa for 3 months, and we experimented with vegan foods, frozen foods. This was all fresh, all natural, and it was amazing. I mean, it was as good or better than any food I've had at any restaurant I've ever eaten in. So that was wonderful, and then we headed into Hollywood. Now, heading into Hollywood's an adventure. It's terrifying. It's exhilarating. It's scary. It's wonderful. When I was a kid and we first moved here to Los Angeles in '62, and I first got my driver's license, I used to work up there, parking cars on Restaurant Row and on La Cienega Boulevard. And then I worked at a number of theaters, live theaters, parking cars, for quite some time, actually. And it was a great place to hang out, a wonderful place to get into trouble. Oh my God, it was an incredibly good place to get into trouble. And it was an incredible place to see great music in some of the lofts and clubs that were up there, and got to see all kinds of acts that later on became incredibly famous, not the least of which was Mountain. And it was great. It was just a wonderful day. And as I said, we went in there to see the show Summer. And I think the most interesting part of that show is that while she was the queen of disco for so many years, and which really didn't mean a lot to me because I wasn't into disco. I'm kind of a heavy metal guy, and a folk guy, and other kinds of genres, but I never into the disco scene. But the story, the plot line, went into great detail about her life and told the story of her life through her music, and it was really fascinating. And the one thing it proves is that everybody's got a backstory. Everybody's got a B story in their life. We have the public person that everybody knows, that people around us know. We have probably another level in there, because everybody always talks about the private person and the public person, but I think that there's another level that's sandwiched in between there. That's the semi-private person, the person that you allow friends and family to interact with. And then there's the intimate private self. And this was a story about her intimate private self and her semi-public self, and it was fascinating, and it was tragic, and it was beautifully told, and they did it in a very interesting way. The staging was incredible. If you like live theater, I highly recommend that it's well worth the money for the ticket. I think I recommend that you see it. So if it comes your way wherever you are, it would probably be worthwhile. they broke the lead role into three different sections. One is of her as a young teenage girl, 11 to 14. One as a young woman breaking into music as a career from the time she was probably about 17 or 18, and then as a wife and a mother, and a continuing star, through her journey throughout. So, and then it was home and a quiet evening, quiet dinner, 60 minutes, and now you. So, I think the takeaway here is that everybody's got a backstory, that everybody's got some secrets that they guard closely, hold closely. And the great challenge in life is to find people with whom you can share your intermediate level secrets, that level of intimacy with, and people who are willing to share their that second level of their lives with you. I think sharing that intimate level is reserved for partners and wives and loved ones, family members, family and friends that reach that level. But I know it got me to thinking a lot about that while watching the story and recognizing how many things led Donna Summer to become who she was, and how universal many of those challenges are. So something to think about on a Sunday night as I get ready to turn in. Just wanted to say good evening. I hope you had a chance to catch the podcast interview I did with Audrey Strong and Celie Smith on their Manage Smarter podcast. It was a guest to do. I really enjoyed it. They're really consummate professionals. If you're in sales or if you're in management, I would highly recommend it. You'll take a look at some of the other posts that are there. I did and found them quite interesting. You can subscribe. The thing that's really interesting about the interviews that I've done so far is every one of them has been worth a subscription. So I feel very fortunate. It's like having a chance to interview with different members of the A-team. This is the varsity. These are professionals. Karin Capriotto, Mark Silverman, now Audrey and Lee. We got a couple of others that are scheduled that will be coming up soon. And we have the Brains Behind It podcast that'll go live here any day now with Dave Farrell. So stay well, take care, love you all very much. I'm going to bed.